Matthew 8 verse 26 says, "He replied, 'You of little faith, why are you so afraid?' Then he got up and rebuked the winds and the waves, and it was completely calm." The context. This verse is part of the story of Jesus calming the storm. Matthew 8 verses 23 to 27. Jesus and his disciples were crossing the Sea of Galilee when a violent storm arose, threatening to swamp the boat. The disciples, terrified, woke Jesus, who was asleep, and begged him to save them. Jesus rebuked them for their lack of faith before calming the storm. With his authority. Key themes. 1. Faith versus fear. Jesus points out the disciples' lack of faith, contrasting their fear with the trust they should have in him. Despite being with the Son of God, they doubted his power and care for them. 2. Jesus' authority over creation. By calming the storm, Jesus demonstrates his divine authority over nature, affirming his identity as the Son of God. This miracle reveals his power and control over even the most uncontrollable elements. 3. Trusting God in difficult times. This verse challenges believers to trust God, even in life's storms. Fear often comes from focusing on circumstances, rather than on God's power and presence. Reflection for today. Do you trust God in your storms? When challenges arise, it's easy to panic or doubt, but this story encourages believers to trust in Jesus' power and care. A faith grows through trials. The disciples' experience of fear and Jesus' response was a moment for their faith to deepen as they saw his authority firsthand. How does this verse speak to your current circumstances or faith journey? This verse is such a powerful reminder of how fear can overshadow faith. It shows that even those closest to Jesus, who witnessed his miracles daily, struggled to fully trust him when things felt out of control. It makes me think about how often we, too, let fear dictate our responses when life becomes overwhelming. What stands out is how calm Jesus is during the storm. His rebuke to the disciples, "You of little faith," feels more like an invitation to trust rather than a harsh criticism. It's as if he's saying, "Don't you realize who is with you?" It's a challenge for us to remember that when Jesus is in our boat, no storm is too great. Another thought is that the storm itself wasn't the issue. It was the disciples' perception of it. This speaks to how our perspective in trials matters. Instead of focusing on the storm, we should focus on who God is and his power to bring peace. How do you see yourself relating to this? Have there been times when fear felt louder than faith?